Republicans are now going to demand that President Biden resign. It's not enough for them that he said, I'm stepping aside. In fact, they're terrified about the fact that he's stepping aside, because if the nominee were to be Kamala Harris or Gavin Newsom or Josh Shapiro or Gretchen Whitmer or Pete Buttigieg or honestly whoever is being considered right now, they would all mop the floor with Donald Trump in a debate, which is probably why Donald Trump is going to have to not debate under those circumstances and is already setting that up. So because this is not enough for Republicans, they now are going to demand that President Biden resign. The argument they will make is if he's not fit to run for re-election, he's not fit to be president. Of course, all Joe Biden said is, I'm not running for re-election. That's it. I think it's in the best interest of the country that I not run. They would still be in the position of having to prove that he can't be president right now. And based on the outcomes that we've seen during the presidency, I think it's going to be very difficult to prove that. So here is them taking up this line. Here is Donald Trump and J.D. Vance themselves in a new interview. It's not clear in this interview whether Donald Trump is babysitting J.D. Vance or J.D. Vance is babysitting Donald Trump. But regardless, here they are pushing the idea that Biden's got to be removed now because he simply can't do it.
You'd investigate the people that hid Joe Biden's condition?
Well, I think somebody has to look at it. Look, you had people that lied to the American public. And I tell you what, you ought to take a look at his doctors. Because
I'll tell you what.
His doctors keep giving him this wonderful report. I'm not a doctor, but I saw him the other day, was unable to get up the children's stairs going into Air Force One.
Is it a coup against Joe Biden?
Sort of, yeah.
I think it is. I mean, look, there's a constitutional process, the 25th Amendment. If Joe Biden can't run for president, he can't serve as president. And if they want to take him down.
And of course, Joe Biden has never said, I can't run. He said, I'm not going to run. It's not in my best interest. And of course, by the way, even if your opinion is that Biden can't run, the point here is you're not going to get a president out simply because they said they're not running for president.
Because he's mentally incapable of serving, invoke the 25th Amendment. You don't get to sort of do this in the most politically beneficial way for Democrats. If it's an actual problem, they should take care of it in the appropriate way.
They kind of do get to do it in the most, I mean, it's so funny. Oh, that's such a crazy, they kind of do get to do it in the most politically advantageous way. By the way, I don't think that this is it. It probably would have been more advantageous to do this previously, although the counterpoint is, there is so much attention now riding on this. There's so much attention being paid and so much riding on this that maybe this is a politically advantageous time, but they are going to push this, that Biden must be forced to resign. Here's Fox News anchor Brett Baer mentioning the calls for resignation.
Great, because there was a lot of questions that they didn't have answers to until President Biden pulled out of the race. You know, we talked about it earlier, but, you know, pulling out of the race is one thing, but he's staying on as president. And there will be all kinds of questions about that. And Republicans are already raising those issues. J.D. Vance, Speaker Johnson, others have talked about that. And I bet you'll hear louder voices in coming days.
So different kind of drip, drip, drip in the days ahead. We saw 37 Democrats calling for President Biden to step aside. And now more and more Republicans may line up to say, if he's not fit to be the nominee, perhaps he's not fit to serve, right?
They are absolutely going to be doing that. There is no question about it. And a number of other Republicans jumping on this bandwagon. Here is Trump's doormat, J.D. Vance, saying if Joe Biden ends his reelection campaign, how can he justify remaining president? Not running for reelection would be a clear admission that President Trump was right all along about Biden not being mentally fit enough to serve as commander in chief. There is no middle ground. MAGA Mike Johnson tweeting out, quote, at this unprecedented juncture in American history, we must be clear about what just happened. The Democrat Party forced the Democratic nominee off the ballot 100 days before the election, having invalidated the votes of more than 14 million Americans who selected Biden to be the Democrat nominee for president. The self-proclaimed party of democracy has proven the opposite. The party's prospects are no better now with Vice President Kamala Harris, who co-owns the disastrous policy failures of the Biden administration, as second in command and a completely inept border czar. Harris has been a gleeful accomplice not only in the destruction of American sovereignty, blah, 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 blah. Eventually getting to, if Joe Biden is not fit to run for president, he is not fit to serve as president. He must resign the office immediately, November 5th, cannot arrive soon enough. They are terrified. They are terrified because this is all bad. If you simply switch from someone polling 44% against Trump, about whom all the media coverage for 2 weeks, 3 weeks has been, this guy's unfit, to someone who is 20 years younger, at least, roughly, and or at least, than Trump, who would wipe the floor with him in a debate and is already polling 40 or 41 against him. That's a red alert emergency for Donald Trump. So they are terrified. They will try to force President Biden to resign. I do not believe that they will accomplish it. And there is a very interesting new framing of Trump as a candidate that is already getting picked up, which I want to talk about next.